Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a room filled with monsters and mystery. A room where every dark corner hides something incomprehensible to the human mind. A place where every wall holds books bursting forth with stories long forgotten and tales that serve no more purpose than to make your skin crawl with delight. Welcome to the room beyond the red door.
Alright, guys, thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you guys having a great night. I am one of the founders of the Red Door. I'm Shy. I hope everything is going to go well tonight. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna introduce ourselves tonight. We're going to have a little fun discussion. See what I did there. Um, uh, and I'm with quite a few of my members. I love you guys for this. Um, let's see, what else should we do? Anyways, um, we are. When I was approached with this red door idea, I was quite on board. Confused at first, but then I realized, going, hey, why not scare the pants out of myself, right? um, we will be streaming this twice a month
Mhm.
around 9:30, and we're gonna talk about this. Um, we're not working. We're gonna talk about Miss. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about things that would go bump in night. Now, if y'all want more information, I'm gonna hand it over to one of the founders.
Hello, everybody. I am Pap. You guys are more than welcome to either call me C or Pap. I am the founder of the Red Door Horror. I created this with my co founders, and I've created this to bring the fright to you. And we did this because it's something that we love. Who doesn't like horror? So, yeah, I started with all of this and wanted to continue to do scary things. And I love to put my anxiety up to the highest. Um, so that's why the Red Door horror works. As you know, like I said before, my name is Pap. I would love to bring whatever it is to you guys and succeed at it. Now, like my partner in crime said over here, she said that we are actually going to be doing this twice a month. That is correct. This episode is the introduction of the founders and getting to know us a little better. So I am going to go ahead and hand it off to Sir.
Oh, my turn already. Hello. Um, I'm the gentleman that did the introduction. I am a person who has spent the last 20 years of my life learning everything I possibly can about paranormal, occult, and cryptid activity stuff. And so I was approached by the lovely ladies that I'm here with this evening about doing this podcast on, like they said, everything they could think of that's horror. And I, again, as somebody who spent the last 20 years of my life doing nothing but that, I could not say yes fast enough to help them with this endeavor. Um, I'm quite interested to see where this all leads and the stuff that we get to cover. Um, I don't know the exact dynamic of what these conversations or podcasts are going to shape up. I'm sure that with it being a new thing for all of us in terms of dealing with this subject matter, it is going to be a bit of a learning curve. So do bear with us. And allow for hiccups along the way. Of course, as we do this more and more, it'll become less and less that we have those hiccups. But um, to start, expect them. Uh, I myself plan to approach most of the conversations and podcasts of characters and creatures that we do when we do cover these things, um, more in the way of somebody who's trying to disprove uh, often what we're going to be talking about. So if you're a skeptical person, maybe me and you will be friends throughout this entire thing. But yeah, that's really all I have for the moment. But I'm gonna go ahead and hand it off now to Caitlin because I think she needs to introduce herself too. She there?
Caitlin.
Caitlin?
Honey, honey.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, there we go.
You can call me Stone or Kate Sith, whichever you prefer, whichever is easiest for you. You can call me whatever you want, except late for dinner.
Oh.
Out of the group here, I am probably, now hear me out, I am probably the biggest skeptic out of all this stuff. But that was until I got with Pap. Then just weird things I started to see. I started
Wanted to
seeing things in the
believe.
corner. I started becoming a little bit more in tune to witching hours, stuff like that. And my pretty much all my life I have been surrounded by horror, monsters, mythology, stuff like that. When I was little, my mom tried to get me into watching stuff like that with her because my brother wouldn't do it. And so she always struggled to have that one person with her that just got into that stuff with her. And when I was little, I wanted no part of it. But now, I feel like I am a horror guru. Almost. So, anything horror related, you can count me in. It doesn't mean I'm not gonna cry, scream, or just run away. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about myself. So, if you guys are lovely viewers currently, if horror is something you think you can get into, so go ahead and step into the room beyond the red door with us.
Oh, that's gonna be so much fun.
Yes.
Oh, I cannot wait for this.
Okay. So basically, our first this I know that a lot of people are wondering like why all of a sudden that this is something that just randomly popped up. This has been talked about for about 2-3 months, and I've been trying to come up with ideas, and then my lovely group, they decided that um, we can just put whatever we wanted to talk about and just put it in there. A lot of things that I myself growing up, I witnessed things that were just completely, you know, just strange. And as uh, Stone said before, she was just literally a non-believer. Like, she does not believe in anything. She was very skeptic. She just, it was just a lot of that type of stuff that was happening. So doing something like this was very in it was very I didn't know what to do. I know I'm like stumbling over my words, but like I didn't know how to come out with it. Like, I wanted to do something that had to be horror related, and so I couldn't figure it out. And I there was times where I would like sit down and play a video game and try to tell a scary story, but like my mind just like went to a different place. You know what I mean? So like that's what it was all about. But my horror family, they they basically have helped me, especially when we play Phasmophobia. That is a game where Gage would like literally just come in and he would tell the story for the characters, the deceased in the game that were haunting us and trying to kill us. And we all just fit in. and I think that's why I decided to do this. I don't know what would I don't know what this would be like if I didn't ask them for help. You guys can actually just look at the amazing theme that Kate Sith made. She did that. Blood, sweat, and tears. Right there. Yeah,
Literally.
literally. but but no, like, so we're here. We're willing. We want to hear what you guys want to hear more of. Put some topics into that chat. If there's something that is very scary, if there's even a scary story that you want us to, if it's your scary story that you've been through, I do not mind. We do not mind reading it for you. Yes, it does look nice. I love it. We love it. It is a nice, nice theme. So if there's anything,
I
so
definitely appreciate that compliment too, by the way. It took me forever, and the what you see here is basically, I don't know, maybe the sixth or seventh idea or try that I had. I went through so many different colors, and then finally red was like, yeah, that's gonna work.
yeah, it's beautiful. It is it's a spooky one, I guess. So all right, guys. So like, what? So how does it feel to be back and talking at the Red Door Horror? How does everybody
You know
feel?
what? I honestly really miss the podcast doing podcasts, and I think this would be an amazing idea to work on something like this because we like scary stuff. Come on, we play what? Phasmophobia. We play Resident Evil. We play different games, and I think this will bring a really nice idea to do.
It does.
I
Feel
think
free to say it.
I think we should also let the viewers know that we're not focusing just heavily on just telling stories, but
Mhm.
some of the things that we do kind of have planned for the channel itself is uh, some ideas that we pitched back and forth is having movie night where we watch really old like black and white movies that are free use anyways, just to chill out, hang out, and talk about these things. We were planning on doing the twice a week cryptid talk or legend talk. I guess is I don't know. I don't think we actually have a name exactly for it yet. The main reason of the podcast, like twice a week, and then intermittently, um, have gameplay and stuff like that of horror related titles. So if this channel as a whole is really being built for just people of the horror community and people who enjoy the stories that are these things, to have a place to come and talk and hang out. We do have a Discord channel that's been set up where we plan on doing more of that as a way to interact with y'all and the community as a whole, having a place and a home to hang out. Yeah, but don't, if you're coming into the stream at the moment, there's if you didn't see something right away that is kind of um, your niche, don't worry. It doesn't mean that it's not going to pop up. I myself love stuff like SCP, old movies, any uh, creepy pastas. I grew up in that age when those things were brand new. So, and I think all of us did. Um, we don't have a set schedule as it is now for the channel. It is something that's going to slowly be built up. But for right now, the only thing that we do really have set in stone is that this particular podcast, the cryptid or horror or whatever this podcast is and will end up becoming, is going to be happening twice a week on Fridays at 9:30. Um, Movie nights, game nights, those things are going to happen. But they're going to be a little more fluid and subject to change along the way. Um, so I just felt that we should probably cover that for y'all guys.
Yeah. I know that we were gonna have. We'll let you guys know with the scheduling when time passes when we figure stuff out. I know that will no, excuse me for talking. If you guys actually want to have us discuss something or look into something, please don't feel bashful or don't feel afraid to let us a suggestion so we can look into it. 'Cause I would love to do different myths. We'll do different like we'll do different seasons. We'll do like season 1, season 2, but we'll do different categories.
Yes.
And I go ahead.
No, no, go on.
No, I lost my train of thought again.
Um, I want people to know too. Like, I want to make it very clear that, uh, like Gage did say, like it's not just talking of tales. It's not just playing horror games or anything. The Discord channel, the Discord link is right up there. Oh, it's already been up there. You basically can just follow, go ahead and join it. And like he said, we do movie nights. Also, there is what I do want to let people know is that anything that you feel like you want us to talk about or us to play a game about, we do love recommendations. We do love having you guys involved. We want this to succeed in the most amazing way. So, I think that this is going to actually bring us closer. I feel like I have a really good feeling about this. I love what's going on right now. So do not be shy, like what is it that you guys want to see for this? I mean, it's new, it's new to us and we want to be able to express that. And I think with the people that is in this group, they're willing to even do that. I would love to do something very special for Halloween. Maybe we can do a scary story or like we could come up with something that would be good for that topic. Maybe I think it would be pretty cool to just do anything scary. I don't know. I mean, it's up to you guys. You need to, you know, let us know what you guys would like to see and I think we can actually pull it off.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Spooky, scary
It's almost
skeletons.
Halloween, guys.
Yep, I know. I know.
Well,
I'm so excited. Like you have no idea, okay? Like I think I think that that is probably why I never feel I always feel out of the element when October's never around. I don't know if anybody ever feels that way, but I do. October is like my month where I can feel like myself because I'm always like I have a mask on anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's just a you thing.
Huh? Wow. Oh my god.
I think you're completely alone. Facebook is not on your side on this one.
Obviously, Facebook is not on my side. I'm all by myself.
oh, I feel your pain because I love Halloween.
I know
Halloween's
I
my
didn't
favorite holiday.
starve.
Oh, I love Christian
Yeah,
Halloween.
I mean it's a wild thing to do. It's a wild I think it's one of those things where you have to be just open-minded and you can't be scared about that stuff, you know? I mean be spooked out, but be spooked out out of having fun. I don't know if that makes sense, but I mean I have fun being spooked out, so
I, I can't stand horror. I can't do it. I can barely make it through Phasmophobia. That's why I'm in the van all the time.
Nice.
And now you've realized
Stand
why I'm in the van all the time, didn't you?
that's great. That's great. That's live.
You guys want to share any of your scary, funny moments? Go ahead. I dare y'all.
You know what, Gage? You go first since you're such a wonderful storyteller.
In terms of what do you want to know?
Anything
Anything.
scary happen to you?
Any, I mean, I've lived 30 years. A lot of scary things have happened to me. Is there?
Oh, okay, okay. You know what, Marty?
So you know what? I will tell you a scary story, and it's the reason that I live with the belief that even if there isn't a god or a devil, that there is something that exists beyond, in terms of something that wants to get a hold of us, you know. So when I want to say about, ooh, now it's been about 8 years ago, maybe, yeah, maybe 8 years ago, I was working two jobs at the time.
Mhm.
And when I was working those two jobs, I had a day where I had inventory at both jobs. And anybody who's ever worked retail knows what that means. It means that I got into work and I was there until like 2 in the morning inventorying the entire store. Okay.
Mhm.
So the way it worked out is I had an inventory at one store and I had to work. I literally had I had both jobs on the same day. So I worked one job in the morning. I got a couple hours off, and then I went to work at the other job in the evening, and then I inventoried that store. But the next day, I had the opening shift at that same store again. So I didn't have a time really to sleep. So I had to get right back up, go back to work again, get off for a couple hours, go to the other job, do another inventory until like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then finally I got home. And by the time I had finished both of those days, basically, I had barely had any time to sleep, right?
Mhm.
And I laid down, and I tell y'all, I felt like my head touched the pillow, and I was completely out, right? Just gone.
Mhm.
And that's when a dream came into my head, and I'll explain the dream to you. Okay, the best way I can. And this is the same way I've told this story to people over and over again. And it's because of this dream that I believe that there is a possibility of true evil in this world. And some people are like, "Oh, you just had a night terror," but there's just something about it that was different, right? I understand a night terror. This is something completely different. So, the dream starts like this. Imagine you're looking at a bunch of Polaroids, right? A bunch of Polaroid. Your vision is a black screen.
Mhm.
Okay. Imagine for a moment, if y'all will, a black screen in front of your face. There's no light. It's just blackness. And then a Polaroid drops from somewhere over your left or right shoulder and lands in front of you. And you just see a Polaroid of a car driving down a road. Okay. And the car is driving and it breaks down on the side of the road. And you can tell from the Polaroid that um, it's starting to snow, and Polaroids keep falling in from beside your shoulder, down in front of your face, and landing on a black surface in front of you. Okay, so you're able to tell a story is being told to you piece by piece over your shoulder. Now, I've never seen them. A lot of people are like, okay, well, maybe these dreams that we have come from movies or stories that we've been told. But up until this point in my life, I've never seen a story or a movie that is like what I had seen. Okay, so
Mhm.
the Polaroids are falling in front of my face piece by piece. And I can see a car, and a car is stopped on the side of the road. And then I can tell that the car has broken down because there are people outside of the car. There are three of them.
Mhm.
And then I can see that there is snow starting to pile up every time a new Polaroid is falling in front of my face. Okay? Eventually, it becomes the Polaroids start falling fast enough that it starts to appear like an old timey movie where you can tell that there are frames missing between each shot, right? But it's still moving. It's now moving as a proper frame. And I can see that the car is broken down and it is becoming dark. And the people that were in the car leave the car and they move into the woods itself. And again, it's starting to becoming more and more fluid as time passes, but there are still frames missing in between each one. And I can see three people sitting around a fire. And then I see two people sitting on that next to that fire. And the before it was a man and two females, and now it is only a man and a female. And the man's back is to me, but each female is sideways so that I can see the side of their face. And this is how I know that they're female, because I can see the body parts, right? Females have breasts, men don't. I'm sorry. Well, some men do, but you understand.
Yeah, I get you.
We
And at
okay.
this point, when it is just a man and a female sitting next to the fire, it starts to become a little more sporadic. Like frames are being ripped away now, and it's almost going back to the point of the Polaroid, but it's still somewhat of a movie. And it cuts to a woman running away from the man, and she is just in terror. And it cuts in close on the man's hand, and I see the knife go into her back. And I'm somebody watching this happen. And then it cuts straight back to the man sitting next to the fire. But now there is somebody across his lap, and he has a hold of the knife blade. And the movie at this point has gone completely smooth. It is full on 4K resolution, 60 frames a second. And the dude takes the knife and he twists, and the head of this poor girl, whoever she might have been, rolls off. And the man is sitting there next to the fire, and I can tell that he's eating. It's a survival situation. He's eating, but he's just murdered this girl. And the camera, which is me, it's like my eyes. I am moving closer to them, and I get down and I can see the girl's face, and it is a face of pain and anguish. And it all at one time, her mouth becomes a gape, and her teeth become sharpened fangs, and her eyes become blackness. And whenever somebody talks about a void, if you've ever looked into a deep dark hole, you know what this means. This feeling, this haunting presence of just overwhelming dread. And when I looked at this girl's eyes, it was just overwhelming dread and pain, and just I wanted nothing more than to look away, but I couldn't. I was forced into this moment. And all in one go, the girl's head yanks forward and bites down on the man's arm. And in that split second, my eyes in real life have now shot open and my body is frozen, but I can feel the fangs of this girl bearing down into my arm. And I know what has happened. I am experiencing paralysis. I have literally shaken my body out of sleep that I was so deep into that it hasn't had time to relax itself and come out of the frozen state, because we all know that when you go to sleep, your body literally puts yourself into like a form of like rigor mortis.
Right.
Right? And I have been shaken out of this so hard that my body is in this rigor mortis, but I can feel this girl bearing down on my arm, and it was excruciatingly painful. And I finally, like, I'm screaming, but because I'm still frozen, I can't scream. And I finally get control of my body, and I lurch forward, and I sit straight up, and I can feel. I immediately grab my arm, and I can feel that there's nothing there, but I could still feel pain, like there was something there. And I sat up and I turned on the light, and I just sat there, and I just breathed and took in what had just happened. And I know, you're like, okay, well, if I stay awake, I won't go back into that dream again, right? We've all done that. We wake up from a horror, and you're like, it wasn't nothing, and then you go back to sleep. And I sat up for a couple of minutes, and I finally relaxed, and I laid back down. And the second that I closed my eyes, I was face to face with the girl again, and it was just her head, and it was just the black void. And I noped out, and I woke up a split second later, and again my body was frozen. And I've told that story to several people, and I don't know what it means. Some people are like, it doesn't mean anything. You just experience like sleep paralysis, but it was something that day. I feel like I was in a weakened state, and something saw like an opening and tried to take that opening, and I got away, whatever it was. But yeah, no, that's my story.
That's,
Ask and you shall receive.
yeah, that's pretty creepy. Jesus
It
Christ.
is creepy.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's stories like that that happened well after I started learning about the occult and paranormal stuff, but it's that moment that I kind of actually buckled down a little heavier and started doing research into things and demonology and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
I actually have a scary story too. Not really a story, but I have really scary experience that happened to me. One day I was like sleeping, trying to go to bed. I woke up for some weird reason. Something woke me up. Well, for some reason I woke up, but yet I could not move. I could not talk. I could not move. I couldn't do anything. All of a sudden, I saw something. I looked over to my window. I was able to move a little bit of my head, but then I saw something shadowy by my window appeared out of nowhere. I'm sitting there going, thinking in my head, going, "Oh shoot!" I couldn't move. Um, I sat there for a good solid 5 minutes. Couldn't do anything. It was getting closer to me. It was closer, closer to me. Well, I'm sitting there trying to move, trying to get away, trying to do something. Well, I don't know if I was asleep or not when this happened, but finally I was able to move. When I was able to pick up my arms and move to the side, and then I closed my eyes again and opened them, and everything was back to normal. So I don't know if that was an actual dream or it really did happen. It was very, very scary to me. I couldn't go back to sleep for a good 2 hours after that. Has anybody had that experience before?
Oh yeah. I've actually had
Yes.
yeah, I've had that happen before, and it's pretty creepy.
It's crazy. I
Yeah.
can't believe it happened to me.
That actually, I have actually two stories, but the one story that I remember happened not too long ago, about a couple years ago, actually. Um, it was when I was living in Illinois with my fiance, and I had, I get, I have slight night paralysis, and I get night terrors really bad, and I only ever get them if like I'm stressing of some sort. Like if they get like I've sometimes I can get them back to back, and sometimes I won't. Um, but this one night I actually remember dreaming. Oh, well, what happened was we went to bed, and I had this little my fiance's parents' little dog. Her name was Mackenzie, and she was sleeping on the side of me. And then Caitlin's dog Oddball was laying at the foot of the bed, and I remember like when I went to bed, I kid you not, it did not feel like I was asleep that long. I woke up, or at least I thought I was awake. And I remember like seeing these shadows, and one was on the side of me where Mackenzie was sleeping. And let me remind you, our bed was against the wall. Like, so I slept close to the wall. And Mackenzie was by the wall, and then Oddball was at the end of the bed. He always laid at the foot of the bed, and I remember just laying there, and I could see these figures. Like it was just like as I'm looking at a person, plain as day. Like nothing is like stopping this at all, and I see the one at the foot of the bed looking at me, kind of leaning in, and then the one on the side of me looks like turning its head to the side and goes to reach to Mackenzie, and the one at the foot of the bed goes to reach over. So I don't remember what it was trying to do, but all I could do was scream. I screamed so loud. It took me out of that dream that I woke myself up. I woke my father-in-law up. I woke my mother-in-law up. I woke my brother-in-law. I woke everyone up in that house, and I remember them coming and rushing into the room. Like, what's going on? And Caitlin woke up, and I'm crying, and she's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And it was terrifying. It was the most terrifying thing that I had ever witnessed in my life, because the feeling that I was feeling, it was not a good feeling. It was a very dreadful, very very just ugly, and it just felt evil. It didn't feel right. I think from then on, I think I had like two more night terrors later on that week, but that one, out of the ones that I had, stuck out, and it, to this day, I don't know if they were just something like signs, or if they were just something that was there. I mean, it was really scary to feel that, to see that, to just have that around you, and you feel so hopeless because you can't move, you can't do anything, and the only thing that comes to your mind is to scream so that you can stop whatever is there. And I don't think I've ever in my entire life felt so scared to the point where I had to scream like that. I've never screamed so like I've never screamed at the top of my lungs like that. And Caitlin, as my witness, it was scary. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. Um, one of the, I'm not saying it's the only thing, but it's one of them, one of the scary things. And it's not, it's just really scary because, they also have said that, like, when you have night paralysis, that it's actually an old, like, like what your guys are gonna learn here soon is, in folklore, it's a demon or a lady or whatever that's sitting on your chest and you can't move. And that's what it feels like. It literally feels like you cannot move. You can't move, you can't do anything. You just feel like everything around you is at a standstill, and the more you move, the more you start to panic, and the more your heart, your brain, just everything races. So the only thing that you can do is scream. And it scared the living daylights out of me. I don't know, I don't know how. I'm not saying that's what I actually have, night paralysis, but, like, I mean, that's what it felt like. And uh, it's a scary thing. It's a scary situation. I don't know why I've ever, if I've ever felt like I couldn't do anything. I think that's what I normally do. Like, that's my brain tells me to scream. So yeah, that was scary. That was definitely scary.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never had that problem before.
Oh yeah. It's there's something about it that um a lot of people have felt, is that when you feel like you can't move, they tell you to be careful. Like, it's just, it's something that is just completely, it's you can't explain it. It's just there. You know what I mean? Like, it's always gonna be there. So yeah, that was really scary for me.
Alright, I think we have another story, and I think that was Raider Stone has one, I believe.
Yeah, the biggest skeptic in this group has a story.
Go ahead.
Okay, so like I started my intro off earlier, I grew up as a very big skeptic. I mean, my mom was a skeptic, and I think I just, followed her. And that was until I got with Pat that I guess being with someone that believes these things, it, I guess, made me more in tune, maybe a little more sensitive to it, because I took on, for the lack of a better term, when she would get these feelings like she was being watched or like she would see something that I couldn't see. I kind of took on that little knight in shining armor title, telling her, "Let's just go, baby. Let's just go. We got this. Just, I'm not gonna let anything happen to you. You know, I'm here. I'll be the light in your darkness." So ever since getting with her, for the lack of a better way of like describing it, I've become more sensitive and more in tune to it. And like a part of me is still like, nope, that's just my imagination because I'm bored. Okay, well, this was what, a little over a year ago, Alicia, my tall man.
Yes, yes, it was. It was over a year ago.
Yeah, to paint a quick picture, because I feel like just the layout would need to be like described real quick. My parents' house, the bedrooms and the bathrooms are all kind of like cramped in together in this like 10-11 foot long hallway. You've got my mom's room, and then right next to her room is the bathroom, and right across the bathroom is my brother's room, and right across from my mom's room was my room. So I'm sitting here. I just got off the computer from playing a game with Pap. I don't remember what it was, but I just got done telling her, I'm going to go to bed. I have work in the morning. And as soon as I said that, I saw something on the corner of my eye. Like, it's not the typical, like, yeah, just my imagination. No, I saw a figure peeking around my doorway. And when I turned to look, there's nothing there. Now, my first instinct was to think that it was my dad, because he likes to, like look in the bedrooms to see who's in the bathroom, if there's anybody in the bathroom. So I called out, because I thought I heard him walking down the hallway too. I called him out. He didn't answer me. I looked into my mom's room. She's in there watching her forensic files and Criminal Minds. And I went and walked into the hallway. My dad had been sitting on the couch and hadn't moved at all. And when I walked down the hall to ask him if he was just down at the other end, he said no. And my brother was at work, so it couldn't have been him. And again, my mom was watching practically How to Get Away with Murder. So as soon as my dad said no, I just had this intense chill that just threw me into a fit of tears. And I ran down the hallway to my mom, and I'm like, "Mom, there was somebody. I just saw somebody in the hallway. I don't understand." And the more I told the story, the more my mind made me realize what I had just seen. I had seen a man that I can only describe that was probably like 10 feet tall and was too tall to stand comfortably in the hallway, to where he had to kind of bend around to look in my doorway at me. And just, I don't know how I can actually be a skeptic of, especially after some of the things I've heard. They always say, like, if you hear your name being called, don't answer it. I hear my name being called on a daily and nobody's calling me.
Yeah, that the other day. Creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and it's mostly at work, which is weird, and I work in a warehouse, so it's like I don't understand how I can hear my name over all the machinery, so I tend to try and listen to music while I'm working, so I can't hear my name being called, and sometimes that kind of doesn't work in my favor, because sometimes it's people actually trying to call me.
That is
Yeah.
very creepy. Creepy. Ugh.
And like, I know I'm not going crazy. Celicia, Pap has said that she has seen him too.
Oh, I've seen, I've seen him. It was like a couple years ago. There was a lot of stuff that was going on, and a lot of just negative stuff that was going on. So yeah, when you see something like that, you're just like, that's not good, So yeah,
Yeah, if I saw that, I would be questioning my insanity.
Yeah, it was really creepy.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Now, does screaming in a game, getting scared with from a game, does that count?
What do you mean?
Remember when you were streaming Paper Dolls 2?
Oh yeah.
Would you like to tell that one, or should I?
Yes, go ahead. You can go ahead and you can tell it.
Okay. One night on Paper Dolls 2, we were she was streaming her we were streaming, and what was funny is that, okay, little backstory, I don't get scared that easy. When she was playing her Paper Dolls 1, I didn't scream. I started laughing the entire time.
Yeah.
well well while she was walking downstairs and turning a corner, all of a sudden, I let out a really, really loud scream. What was kind of funny is that I had my door open. So I had both my parents come running in and going, okay, what is wrong? What is wrong? Let me tell you what happened to that, what I saw. I actually saw a little shadowy thing manifest itself right in the hallway, and for some reason I screamed. And because of that, what makes it even funnier, I made a bet in the very beginning of that same stream. I have to now play Paper Dolls.
Yeah. It was like, she was like, no, it's not gonna happen. What does she do? Screams her head off. And the funny thing about this is, like, when you do this, when something like this happens, your brain is automatically telling you, like, oh, I got this. There's nothing scary about it. But when you're calm, you're cool, you're collected, like, you're really into what's going on, you're gonna jump. Don't say you're not. You're gonna jump. Because I know. I've been there. So. But yeah.
I can't believe that happened, and I lost a bet for it.
Yeah, you did. You sure did.
Hmm.
But yeah.
No.
So.
Anybody else?
Anybody else wants to say a few things? No?
I think I'm kind of freshed out or shared out at this particular episode. I don't want to share too much, and instead of just spacing it out between each episode we do.
Okay. Alright, guys. So, here's the thing. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for everything that's been going on. You will be able to see more of us. And one thing, like I said, please, if you have suggestions, go ahead, put it into the Discord chat, talk to us, and everything. And with that, I will leave it to Gage.
Well, boys and girls, it looks like the witching hour is upon us once again. It is dangerous to stay so late in this room, so close your books and dim your lanterns. The creeps and ghouls will be here before you know it. It's time to lock the door, and we will get. It's time to lock the door, and we will only get one chance to leave. Good night, y'all.